Don't kill me. But so next question. Thanks for that, OJ and Ellie. That's actually dope to hear for real, for real. No, for real. From like outsider, because sometimes we're not sure. I think Krump is a very insular dance. People we know we're like we like it. I don't know if people like it, kind of thing. People like it. Okay, also scary. So that's the whole thing. Anyway, so are there any critical equity issues connected to Krump, i.e., race, gender, religion? So, there any equity issues or anything related to equity connected to Crump that comes to mind that you think about?
I don't know, Will. You haven't really
Monica
debated this.
Wagwan, yes, sir. You made a whole program. Talk about it.
Uh, I can only speak from like
Yeah,
being a woman. Like
yeah,
that's my minority in Crump.
yeah,
Like everyone, it's no secret. Crump is male dominated,
yeah.
and I am not a boy, so I fall into the category of the minority. Um, Honestly, it it hasn't been the hardest, but it definitely hasn't been the easiest.
Right.
I I think I've done a lot to kind of put myself, you know, somewhere on the map. I'm there somewhere, but to have, you know, there's still struggles for me, how I see it and how I go about Crump. My biggest thing is be tight at all costs. Not for a woman, not for a white girl, like just be tight. And so that's been like my main goal so that if people do have any type of quarrel with me, like I'm not gonna fall into that trap thinking doubting myself. Um, I've definitely heard like I do things for clout and for for stuff that I know for certain men do in crime, but don't get as harshly ridiculed for. Um, I do sometimes feel like off to the side a little bit in the crump world, and just because I've kind of been here for a little bit, you kind of see the way crumpers treat women. And a lot of the times, the women that are seasoned in crump and know what's up with a lot of these crump dudes, um, they kind of get, we go from like, oh, she's my top five to like, never talked about again. And then it's the new women that aren't really hip to how, unfortunately, a lot of crumpers work. So they become like the forefront of like, oh, she's my new favorite and all that. So I take things with a grain of salt, but the struggles are definitely there. Like I said, my main goal is to continue to kill people off, um, to be tight, period, and bring more women into Crump, and also have men not feel a type of way for asking me to to teach because I recently I've heard that a lot of guys learn from me while I battle them. And as tight as that is, I never see them anywhere else other than when they battle me. And then it's like, thanks, I learned a lot from you. But I have a lot more to offer. And I feel like I took a little break from uh, Crump out here for personal reasons. So coming back, I'm really trying to reach out, and I'm hoping like more of it um, more of it becomes settled with the Crump community. The leaders I've already spoke to Crump community. I hope to see more of like with sessions out here, with more events coming up, with labs and like workshops from myself. Like I said, I feel like I have done enough work. And learned from valid sources that I I can throw workshops as well. It's just people like to pick and choose like when they learn and when they can ask. I think that's the struggle like I'm dealing with right now, but it's all a learning curve for me as a woman in Krump. But other than that, like I fight somebody for Krump, so it doesn't like this stuff is they're just growing pains for me. But hopefully by the time we get more women involved, this won't be an issue. I don't want this to be an issue.
I think that's a great share and a good point. I think it's pretty obvious, like, yeah, Krump is male dominant, and that's something that, as a movement and the culture we want to work on. I think in terms of like race or like where people are from, even like socially, like that's not as much of an issue. If it is at all, I think, overall the community is pretty accepting of different people from different backgrounds. And even Toronto, it's been dope seeing people come from different countries and like reach out and say, yeah, hey, I'm coming from this place and I see you guys have a Krump movement, I want to session with y'all. So I think Krump is really cool for bringing people together like that. Like I've been to different countries and done the same, and I've been welcomed. So I think that's pretty good. One thing I'll be interested in is, seeing how age affects it, and like, 10 years from now, 15 years from now, if we're still, physically fit and we can move, how are people looking at us in the session? Oh, this old bogey, like this guy trying to session with us, so that'll be something interesting. But overall, I think the Krump movement is pretty welcoming.
Yeah, like
Really like I want to really hit on that tokenism piece quickly. Just that, like, Monica really like hit the woman in Krump thing and like tokenism, and I didn't realize that like women are tokenizing Krump, that they're kind of like there's like the flavor of the month. I didn't know that, and that's like wrong. But like, yeah, that's like super whack. And also too the whole like men not feeling like they're able to ask you for Krump advice, even though you just killed them off. That's interesting.
That's fucked up.
So, and then so like that's because
Wanted it so bad. Like I was around it